Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Being Mrs. Fraser. It is a cozy day here, and I thought it would be the perfect time for a full homemaking day. I'll be cleaning up the kitchen and dining area, baking something sweet and cozy and pumpkin-y, and tackling a little pantry refresh that has been on my to-do list for a very long time. So I love these slower days at home. It's when I can put on some music and just get things done and get this house feeling calm again, back to its just normal state, So anyway, grab a drink, light a candle, grab your cozy blanket, and let's go ahead and spend the next few minutes together. I always like to start in the kitchen. Once it's clean, the whole house just feels better. It may not look very dirty, I guess, in the video, but I promise you, this camera just does not show the dirt and grime and crumbs that have built up behind everything in this kitchen. So I did want to go ahead and get the dishes done first. I like to start there. It just makes things easier. Don't ask why there was only 5 dishes in the dishwasher that one of my children decided to run with just those few dishes. So we got those put away, and I'm just kind of moving on to the coffee bar area. I did get a new coffee frother or milk frother for my coffee. I like having warmer drinks in the colder times of year, and I know you all are going to be like, Tammy, you live in Florida. It doesn't get cold in Florida, but I kid you not, it does get cold, and it is currently cold. We have a cold front that has come through, and I'm telling you what, I am freezing. Now, back in Nebraska, if it was this cool, I guess, it would probably have been okay, but I wasn't acclimated to the heat and humidity like I am now, and this cold weather is for the birds. Like, I am not here for it. I feel completely lazy because I really just want to curl up under a blanket or just get in like the hottest shower ever. I really wish like I had a hot tub or something like that right now with this time of year, or at least not even this time of year. It feels really cold for this time of year because I don't remember any Octobers before this year that like Halloween has always been warm. And so for it to be as cold as it is, I don't know. The cold front, I mean, Halloween is supposed to be, which you guys will see this on Halloween, but it is supposed to be, I think, like mid 60s for a high. We're supposed to get in the 50s, like I think 50 for the low. I know other parts of Florida are seeing like down in the 40 degrees and stuff like that. It is just a wild, wild week this week. And I am not here for it. I am not here for the cold anymore. It is just not my thing. So anyway, long story not even short. Long story long, I got a milk frother. I did pick it up on Amazon. I will have it linked for you guys. For those of you guys that have been using my links, I truly, truly appreciate you. That little kickback does help. It can definitely buy a couple gallons of milk or whatnot. So I truly, truly appreciate it. Anything helps. So thank you for using my link from my Amazon storefront or even my Lowe's storefront. But anyway, I got this milk frother. I wanted something that detached because in previous times it was all like one piece, and it's really hard to make sure you're getting that properly cleaned. And so I found this one. It was a little bit expensive. I think it was like $40 or $45. But I like it because the little top comes off. It actually almost looks like a little coffee pot, to be honest. But I like that I am able to separate that top. That top can go in the dishwasher. It can be cleaned that way. So that way it's getting a full, good clean, because you're putting milk in there and whatnot. So you just want to make sure you get all that out of there afterwards. So anyway, I absolutely love it. I am going to share with you a yummy pumpkin spice coffee recipe that you can make at home with your Nespresso. And I'm going to be using this for the first time in today's video. So I hope you guys will stick around. It'll be coming up here shortly. So who's been doing baking this year? I love this time of year. I love pumpkin and apple. I love both, really. I prefer pumpkin over apple, but I will eat apple too. Apple baked goods or anything like that. But pumpkin is absolutely my favorite. So we've been doing a lot of fun recipes with pumpkin puree. So anyway, so that's kind of, I just want to give my kitchen just, a quick reset today. It's really amazing how quickly the kitchen can get so dirty when you start just doing all this baking. So it just, everything just gets pushed behind the canisters and behind the coffee, and the Nespresso, or the coffee, the Keurig and the Nespresso, you know what I mean? And so I just wanted to make sure that I was getting everything just kind of cleaned out and going. I like to burn a candle when I am cleaning. There's just something about having those fall scents, swarming into your home. Just smells absolutely amazing. My favorite candle is actually Antique Candle Co. Now, I will say they are kind of high priced. They are soy candles, and they do last for so long. And you guys, real quick, I sat my little hen in a nest, like my little mini one. That was actually my grandma's little nest. And I sat it there thinking it would be out of the way. I wouldn't accidentally knock it over. And I did. I sent it flying. I was so upset. I think I share with you guys what it looks like when it comes back. The nest itself did not break, but the little hen on top shattered into, a good amount of pieces. I saved all the big pieces as much as I could, and I'm hoping that my husband will be able to glue it back together. I literally wanted to cry when that happened. I had a bigger one that was my other grandparents on my mom's side, and before we moved, that one broke. I've been looking for a replacement. I just cannot find the amber color. And so when this little miniature one went, I was so upset. But I sat it up there on the bread box. And like I said, I'm hoping that my husband can fix it. I don't know. It's because I knocked over the oil and sent it flying. And I was so upset, you guys. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and finish just wiping all these counters, just getting the kind of wipe down on this microwave, and moving stuff, because not all the time when we're wiping the counters down do things get moved, especially when it's my kids wiping the counters down. They just tend to wipe the areas that they can see. And you know what? For the most part, that's fine because I don't want them to break anything. If I break it myself, it seems like I would rather get mad at myself for breaking something than mad at my children for breaking something. So if they don't move anything, it's fine. They know that they can move it, but I just, I don't want them to worry about breaking anything. So it just makes it easier to wipe down the surfaces that they can see. And then mom will go back in later on and move things and get everything wiped down. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this finished up here, and then we're going to move on to the dining area because that definitely needs a little bit of attention as well. I just like to keep this space simple but cozy. Just a few touches of fall decor, as you guys know, but with all that being said, the fall decor will be leaving here soon enough. So I think that actually might be the next video you guys see is me taking down all the fall and Halloween because Christmas will be coming up very, very soon. I cannot wait. I am so excited for Christmas. I got a few new pieces for my tree and stockings to fit the burgundy style that I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to do like burgundy and green. So I hope you guys will come back and see my vision. I'm so excited. I did want to go ahead though, while I was wiping everything down, I noticed my doilies were really dirty. I don't know how that happens, but they definitely needed to be cleaned. So I just loaded them up with some Dawn dish soap and let them sit for a little bit and soak, and then I rinsed them out and then sat them outside in the sun to dry, and I cannot tell you how white these came out to be. I mean, they're not like white, but clean is what I mean. How clean these turned out to be. I was so happy because I was like, man, I hope these are not stained and ruined. I don't know what was all over them, but yeah. So also, I forget who it was I was talking to in the comments. You said you had some of these, and so I did go ahead and order them. I actually got mine on Amazon. I know that they're on TikTok Shop. I think they're red on TikTok Shop, but mine on Amazon were this neon yellow or neon green, whatever color you call it, a highlighter color. And so I did pick up those. I think it came in a 3-pack for like $5 or $6. And then that's more of like a microfiber, so it goes better on the wall. And I just dipped it into my mop, into some clean hot water. I did end up using Pine Sol in there. I like to use Pine Sol when I'm mopping anyway, because it helps deter bugs. And although we do have this cold front and there's not really bugs right now, Florida does usually have a lot of bugs. So anything I can do to help deter the bugs is great for me, in my opinion. But I absolutely love these little things. They just fit right on the end of the mop handle or the mop head. And it actually made it pretty easy to get in the corners and everything in here. So I really, really like this. Again, I will leave it linked for you in my Amazon storefront if you are interested in that. I did already vacuum when that little hen went flying because I wanted to make sure I got any small pieces and I didn't step on them. But I did want to go ahead and just vacuum again just to make sure, and then move those chairs out of the way so I can get the floor kind of just cleaned up. And then I'm going to mop. You know, I love my O-Cedar mop. I love it so, so much. But I tell you what, I wish that the handle was a little bit longer. I am 5'6", which I don't feel like that's very tall. Maybe it's probably average. I don't really know. But I feel like the mop handle is kind of short for as tall as I am. And again, I don't feel like I'm that tall, but anyway, I don't know. I've seen the longer handles on TikTok. So I'm not 100% sure if I want to go for a longer handle or just suffer through what I have here. I don't know. You'll have to let me know if you guys have gotten the longer handle or not, if you guys have seen that, if it's worth the money or if it's just, just use this short one and get through it. I don't know. But also I put a new mop head on here, and that I did also get off of Amazon. It is not the O-Cedar brand, but it works so well with these mops, and I actually like it better than the O-Cedar brand. The O-Cedar brand ones just are not as like fluffy and big, I feel like, and these ones are really nice and they just get in the grooves and everything, and I love that. I love using it on our tile. We have older tile, and I will say that the grout probably needs a good cleaning. I did do a deep cleaning on the grout. I try to do it once a year, and I just use, what is that? In the yellow bottle. I cannot think of the brand. I love this brand though, and I can't think of it. It's a yellow container. And I use it. I use their bathroom cleaner. I use their mold cleaner. I use their wall cleaner. I get it at Lowe's. You guys help me out here. I have seen it at Home Goods. I don't know. I just can't remember where it's from. But anyway, I love it. So, but now we are going to go ahead and move on to making a coffee. Before we make the coffee cake, I just wanted to bake something a little different today. So I did want to bake the pumpkin coffee cake, but I wanted to make a pumpkin spice latte to go with it. So we're going to go ahead and just start brewing this and get some whole milk. I think I used about a quarter cup or so, not a quarter cup. Was it a quarter cup or so of whole milk, a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of vanilla, a tablespoon of pumpkin puree, and a quarter teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I could not come up with that. If you don't have pumpkin pie spice and you don't have the ingredients to make it, which I did, that's why I have it in a small container like that. You could totally just use cinnamon instead, but I just put it all in the frother, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the frother on the little base and turn it on and let it go and let it get thick. I will say I kind of wanted it a little bit thicker, but I couldn't figure out how to change the settings. So I'm going to have to play with the little frother just a little bit, but it did turn out really good, really delicious. I put a couple teaspoons of brown sugar into my actually brewed espresso or Nespresso pod. I do use the Bianco Doppio pods. They are my favorite. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this coffee made so we can move on to the best part of the video, and that is the pumpkin coffee cake we will be making here in just a second. So I just wanted to bake something nice and warm and cozy. This pumpkin spice coffee cake was just it. It was perfect. It had a nice maple glaze over the top, just like a nice drizzle over the top of it, with some pecans or pecans. It was just absolutely delicious. So it really is such a simple recipe though, just using basic pantry ingredients, in the addition to a can of pumpkin puree, which I think I actually only use like maybe 3/4 of the can. So I have a little bit left over that I put away so I can continue using that in my pumpkin spice coffee. So absolutely delicious. I love it so much. It is a super simple recipe. I am starting with the little streusel that goes in the middle and then on top of the batter. So this is literally just some brown sugar, flour, pecans. I didn't chop them as well as I probably should have. I probably should have chop them a little bit more because they do get a little bit toasty on my cake, but that's okay. It still tasted amazing. And then some cinnamon and some unsalted melted butter. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside as I begin mixing the batter up, which of course is just some all-purpose flour, baking powder, baking soda. The recipe actually calls for sea salt, but I don't have any sea salt, so I just use some regular iodized salt. You can use some cinnamon and ginger and nutmeg, some brown sugar again, granulated sugar, the pumpkin puree. You need a cup of it, so it's about 3/4 or so of the can of pumpkin puree. And then make sure it is pumpkin puree and not pumpkin pie filling. There is a difference, so make sure you grab the right can when you're at the store. And then some oil. I use olive oil in all my recipes. I like it better than vegetable oil. The only time I use vegetable oil is when I'm frying something, which we reuse our vegetable oil around here. Just pour it back in the container. Don't tell anybody. But I like olive oil. I don't feel like it flavors anything any different. I think it's just good. So anyway, you're going to want to mix your dry ingredients first, and then you'll mix your wet ingredients. You also, in addition to the oil, you also want to add in some sour cream and 2 large eggs. So I made an oopsie when I was measuring out the sugar. I accidentally put a whole cup of white sugar instead of a half a cup, and that was quite an interesting situation because as I was trying to fix the situation, my brown sugar kept breaking up and then it got all mixed together. I figured it out. It worked itself out and it was still absolutely delicious, but you're going to want to go ahead and put all these wet ingredients into a bowl, mix that all up, and then before putting it into the dry ingredients, make a little well in your dry ingredients, like a little hole in the middle, like dig it out, and then pour those wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and mix them up nicely. I will say before you do all this, you want to make sure that you preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then also make sure you are spraying a pan with some non-stick spray. So the recipe originally, like I said, it calls for an 8x8 pan, but I I don't think it would have fit in an 8x8 pan. I can't remember what size my pan is. It's smaller than a 9x10. What is that? 9x13, I think, is a normal size casual dish. I don't know. Anyway, it's smaller than that, but it's bigger than the 8x8. And I was very surprised at how much my cake grew up out of the pan. And I am so happy that it didn't spill over, because it was definitely too much for this pan. And I probably will use a 9x13 the next time I make this cake, because it's definitely a make again. It was absolutely delicious. It was so good. It was so moist, and just like it's just the perfect recipe for fall. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get this all mixed in together. Do not over mix it. You just want to basically mix the wet into the dry until the dry is completely coated with the wet ingredients. But do not over mix it. Get it in your pan, get it in your oven, and I think it takes about 35 minutes. I think mine ended up taking more like 40 minutes, but that's because I'm using a glass dish as opposed to like a metal dish. It will cook faster in a metal dish, so keep that in mind when you are baking. And then when you go to make your cake or mix everything together, you're going to want to put about half of your batter in the pan, and then about half of your streusel, and then the rest of your batter, and then the rest of the streusel on top. I got a little more than half of the batter. It's in the pan. It still turned out absolutely delicious. It was so good. I really hope you guys make this recipe. I will leave it down in the description for you. I will leave the link to the Pinterest recipe that I have. I love using Pinterest, you guys. I am absolutely obsessed. I find all my delicious recipes on there. It is literally my favorite place to go and get meal ideas. While this bakes, again, for about 35 minutes or so, we're going to go ahead and get the kitchen cleaned back up again. I will say there's nothing like cooking in a clean kitchen, and that is why I cleaned beforehand, but I also usually like to clean as I'm going. It just makes things easier for me. I don't like all the clutter and everything everywhere. I want to be able to put my baking dishes right into the dishwasher, and that just to make it easier on myself, instead of, filling the sink with all these dishes, and then I have to then move these dishes, those dirty dishes, into the dishwasher, and then I have to rinse out my sink and all that. And I don't know. I kind of like to clean as I go. And I like to bake in a clean kitchen. It just is what it is. I don't even know. But I am going to rinse out these doilies. Like I said earlier, I had been letting them kind of just sit in that soapy stuff. I didn't really have them sitting soaking in anything in particular. I just literally put some soap in it, some water, got it nice and sudsy, and let it sit in a ball in the sink. That's kind of all I did. But anyway, I did want to go ahead and get some of the dishes hand washed that I needed to hand wash, including these straws. I just can't put straws in dishwasher. I don't feel like they get cleaned properly. I don't know if it's just me. So I do use the little pipe cleaner, straw cleaner situation, and just get them cleaned out. I like to put the soap right down in directly to them and let them get clean that way. I don't know. It just makes it feel like it gets clean that way to me. So anyway, we're just going to go ahead, finish tidying up the area, getting all my stuff put away that I needed to, and clearing off this counter while our pumpkin cake bakes, or pumpkin spice coffee cake. There we go. You guys will have to let me know what you guys are baking for the fall season and what you guys plan on baking for the upcoming Christmas season. I am very curious what things you guys are making. I love sharing recipes, so if you could share your favorite fall recipe with me down in the comments, I would be so grateful. We're going to go ahead and make up this maple glaze though. Make sure you are using actual maple syrup and not the pancake syrup. You know, I don't really, I personally like pancake syrup over maple syrup myself. However, using actual maple syrup in this recipe is what you want to use. So I just found this one. Maple syrup can be kind of expensive. So I got the second cheapest one at Walmart. I just thought the bottle was cute. Honestly, my husband's like, "Oh, you got a flask of syrup? Is there alcohol in it? Like, what is this?" And I'm like, "No. It should just be syrup. I think it's just syrup." It tasted like it was just syrup. So anyway, we're just going to dump that over the top of this and make a nice little glaze. Now, if you don't like maple, you could totally just use some powdered sugar and milk instead, using the same amount of milk as you did the syrup. Now, I could not wait for this to cool down. Once it cooled down, it was far less crumbly. You guys can see the steam coming off of there. I just didn't wait for it. I couldn't wait. The smell was just absolutely amazing. It smelled so, so good. And then I had a little extra drizzle of that glaze, and so I put some over my piece. It was so, so good, you guys. But now it's time to go ahead and move out on to the pantry. That has been on my to-do list for weeks. I do a pretty good job of making sure that we use everything that we are buying. I hate wasting things. You can actually ask my oldest daughter. I get after her all the time because she will buy things that she wants and puts them in the fridge and then doesn't eat them. And it literally drives me insane. I'm like, you are not only wasting product that somebody else could have ate, but you are wasting money. Stop buying things if you're not going to eat them, or at least share them with your siblings. I'm not big on wasting things, but as you can see, the tortillas were left open, so those did get wasted. It just breaks my heart to waste food. So like I said, most things in this pantry are in date. They're still being used, or they're for future meals. I make sure when I go through, before I order groceries or do any sort of grocery shopping, I go through and make sure and see what we have in the pantry or in the fridge or anything like that. I do a little bit of overstocking, but not enough that it's not going to be used. So if you're wondering why I'm not pulling out a whole lot of expired things, that is why. But I do like to just go through and make sure nothing has fallen to the wayside, or, I do like to wipe down the shelves just because they do get dusty, and you're going to see something very embarrassing. I was so embarrassed, you guys. When I got to the bottom of this pantry, all the hair and dust bunnies and cat food that is built up, it was literally a nightmare. So to start, you can obviously tell I did take everything out. I like to do that kind of shelf by shelf, wipe it down, put it back, grouping it into categories. I did kind of change things around with my bin. I don't know if you guys have been here long enough, if you guys saw me organizing this pantry. I love these shelves for my cans. It just helps keep things nice and organized. And then I just kind of shove off to the side there, which that could probably be a little bit better organized. It are condiments and stuff like that. But I will say, as far as the condiments go, I try to put the taller items in the back and then smaller items in the front, so I can see what we have or what we need. Now, You're going to see that I do pull out another bag of sugar. I somehow missed that I had just bought a huge bag of sugar, and the last time I got groceries, I got another big bag of sugar. Yeah, I don't even know. I have nothing on that, other than whoops. But so obviously my system is kind of flawed. It's not perfect. But I am human and I make mistakes. So it is what it is. But these little bins, I was saying I did get them at, where did I get these? I think I got them at Home Goods. I'm pretty sure they seem to be like the cheapest place to get those types of things. Now, this time of year is probably not a good year to try to stock up on organizing stuff, but usually if you go more so in the beginning of the year when everybody's trying to organize their homes, or even in the spring, and see all that, you will be able to find something a little bit better. So anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to get everything just organized a little bit better. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, more so just anything. It just needs to be functional and fresh. So that's what matters to me. But look at that hair. Oh my gosh. I'm so embarrassed. I can't even tell you. A lot of this stuff in the bottom of this pantry, it just sits there. If you can't tell, I have an obsession with those beans and those particular pickles, and we cannot get them here in Florida. So before my dad, before he officially moved down here to Florida, he stocked up and brought me a ton of it. So I will probably have those for about 2 years before I need to be restocking on my favorite food items. The kitchen just feels so clean. The pantry is organized. The whole house smells like pumpkin. This is my favorite kind of homemaking day. These slower fall days at home are so grounding. Even the simple routines like cleaning and baking and organizing just bring me so much peace. So I really hope this video gave you a little bit of cozy homemaking motivation, some recipe ideas, some coffee ideas. I truly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out of your busy days, out of your busy lives, and spending this time with me. I absolutely appreciate you all so much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. If you have not already, make sure you are subscribed, because honestly, if you enjoyed this kind of cozy homemaking day, you're gonna want to come back. I've got more, no more fall, because we are definitely moving on to Christmas. So I cannot wait to share that with you guys. I hope you stay happy, healthy, and safe, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.